Good morning, everyone. How is going on? You guys good? Louder? Good? Okay, thank you. So, welcome to TEDxGreenwich University 2026. And today, I'm so grateful and honored to be a guest speaker. And I want to say that my childhood dream has come true. Okay, so thanks for inviting me and having me today. And now, I will introduce about myself. My name is Nguyen. I am currently a final year public relation and communication student at Vietnamese University, and I'm also a founder of JAROS Candle, a Vietnamese brand built around local craftsmanship, local material, and sustainable value. And JAROS become one of the first candle brand in Vietnam receive one of the first candle brand in the Mekong Delta received the 4-star OCOP certifications and was later featured on Shark Tank Season 5 Vietnam. So, to date, I'm not here to talk about business, and I'm here to talk about the light. And as I stand here holding the candle, I would like to ask you a simple question. What do you see? A candle, a ceramic jar, a scented product, a home decorations, or a scented product? Yeah. And all of those answers are correct. But let me ask you another question. What is the most sustainable part of this candle? And some people may say the pea wax, some people may say the ceramic jar, and some people may think about the recyclable packaging. And all of the answer makes sense. However, I believe that the most sustainable part of this candle is something that we cannot see. It's the relationship between the people who create. And to date, that is the idea I want to share with you today, because sustainability does not begin with materials. Sustainability begins with people. So before I become an entrepreneur, I was simply a little girl searching for the warmth. And my parents divorced when I was really young. And like many children live in separate family, I learned independence earlier than I expected. And people often tell children to be strong. And I swear, at least on the outside, I went to school, I smiled, and I did everything I was supposed to do. Yet, there's always something missing. A feeling of comfort, a feeling of safety, a feeling of belonging, and a place that truly feels like home. And I remember that every evening were often the hardest. The house feel quiet, sometimes too quiet. And as a child, I did not fully understand what I was looking for. I only know that I am searching for the warmth, not physical warmth, but emotional warmth. The kind that make you feel seen, and the kind that remind you, no matter how difficult life become, there's still a place where you belong. And years later, I discovered something interesting about candles. As you know, a candle cannot remove on darkness. Its light is small, and its warmth is limited. Yet, somehow it changes how a room feels. It makes our space calmer, softer, warmer, and more humans. And perhaps that is the reason why I fell in love with candles. And to me, candle was never just wax and fragrance. A candle was a candle was a cornerstone, and a candle was the warmth of family I spent years searching for. And when I started JAROS Candle, I thought I was building a candle brand. However, I realized that They were much more than that. And I was trying to create a feeling, the feeling that even in the difficult moment, there's still light and hope. And as I was through, I become increasingly interested in sustainability. And yeah, like many young entrepreneurs, I essentially believe that sustainability was mainly about the environment, like natural ingredients, eco-friendly packaging, reducing waste, and choosing better materials. And all of those answers are important. And every sustainable product, there is a community. And behind every ingredient, there is a person. And behind every material, there is a story. As you know, the pea wax in our candle come from the local beekeepers, and the ceramic jar are crafted by the local artisans, and the hand craft, the hand create the products belong to people whose skill and knowledge has been developed and passed down through generations. And at first, I saw them as suppliers, and over time, I realized that they were much more than that. They are more than suppliers, they are partners, storytellers, and guardians of tradition may be disappear if nobody chooses to reserve them. And when people hear that, JAROS receive the 4-star OCOP certifications, and they often congratulate me. I really, really appreciate that. However, what makes me proud is not the certificate hanging on the wall. Is it what the certificate represents? When I look at this, I don't think about a brand. I think about the local beekeeper whose livelihood depends on the healthy ecosystem, and the artisans whose skill and knowledge develop and pass down through generations. So, and the local families try to continue create the value in rapidly changing the world. So the certificate belong to JAROS Candle, but the story become to a community. And that was when I first understood something important. So a sustainable product is not simply a product made from sustainable materials. Sustainable product is a product helps sustain people. So I have a questions for you guys. So please raise your hands if you like to drink coffee. Okay? Great, thank you. And let me ask you another questions. How many people of you thought about where the coffee ground went? Who? Yeah, nobody. Okay? So one day I found something that people would ignore. Use coffee grounds. And every day the coffee shop threw away enormous amount of coffee waste. Most people see crash, and most people see the end of the product journey. And honestly, that was when I first saw too, until I asked a different questions. What if waste is not a material problem? And what if waste is a perspective problem? And through our recycling project and collaborations, we began exploring to transform coffee waste into the scented product. So something that we once considered useless become an opportunity, and something that was discarded suddenly become a resort. Everything, so nothing physical changed. The change is the coffee grounds still remain the same, and what changed is our view. So that is the lessons about community and sustainability can take us. So today, when people talk about sustainability, many conversations about sustainability, they focus on saving planets. and protecting planets is undoubtedly essential. However, I believe that the sustainability cannot succeed if we forget the people who live on it. So we talk about sustainable product, but what about sustainable communities? And we talk about reducing waste, but what about creating opportunities? And we talk about protecting resources, but what about protecting communities? And a, a product cannot be sustainable if we forgot the people who live on it are struggling to sustain their own life. And their business cannot be sustainable if it's role while communities left behind. And a future cannot be sustainable if it benefits for people while excluding the other. So that is the reason why I believe that sustainability and environment and harmony is not this separate idea. They are the same idea. One cannot exist without the other. So, ladies and gentlemen, today, when you look at this candle, I hope that you no longer see a candle. And I hope that you see more than a product, a beekeeper, a local artisan, a bag of coffee ground giving a second life, and a community create the value together and a connected of people and the network of people are connected by something much more than a product. Because sustainability is not about saving things. Sustainability is about sustaining relationship between people and nature, between entrepreneur to community, and between about the relationship, what we give and what we take back. Perhaps that is what harmony truly means. Harmony is not the absence of darkness. It's a decision to create the light together. One flame, one community, and one relationship at a time. Thank you and hope you have a great day.